Welcome. So it's been a long time since I've done any of these. I'm going to try to do this as good as I can. I just need to get the movies back in my collection again into the shelves. So I need to do this update video now. I'm going to go through all the new releases I have gotten and try to do this quicker than normal. Yeah, and sorry for the bad camera. That's the only camera I have right now. But as I normally do, I go through the Scandinavian releases, and then I do normal Blu-ray releases, then I do normal 4K releases, then I do boutiques, companies, and then special limited edition in the end. So hang with me. I'll start with this one, and it's a Norwegian film called Home, I think it is, straight in the English title. It's directed by Who Cares, starring Who Cares. 1 out of 40 Norwegian feature films made out of my taxpayers' money that no one asked for. So yeah, take that for what it is. I saw it and I will never see it again. But I will keep it just because it's Norwegian. Next one up is Ut mot havet. So this is a 1959 documentary about the coast of Norway, I would say. The focus is about the coast, the people living on the coast side of Norway, and how they lived back then. And it focuses a lot on fish, working with fish and all of that. And of course, the people who actually work with fish. So there's a lot of fishermen in the film. I truly love this release. It was released some months ago, and I didn't pick it up right away. But I'm super happy that I finally did. I love old docs like this. It's also directed by Nils Muller, and he has done 5 films I think I've seen now. And yeah, I will talk about one of them pretty soon. But this is my favorite film from him so far. Yeah, here is the other film from him that I got now. I had never seen this one before, but it's called Min Marion. It's from 75. Yeah, this was not a movie I liked. I was feeling like the movie stands still for most of the running time. And the female lead in the movie was great. Ulrikke something was her name. But the male lead, Sverre Anker Austdal, that I normally actually like a lot in most things he does. Yeah, he didn't work at all in this film. It was a hard watch getting through this. I felt like the whole movie was trying to be something it wasn't. And it was forced in a way. I don't know. But it was not a good watch at all. Next one up is also part of the Norwegian film classics, is Fredrikssons Fabrik. So this was one of the comedies from Norway I watched the most as a kid. I loved it back then. I haven't seen it for years now, but I've seen it many times, so I can remember almost the entire film. Yeah, it has a lot of old actresses that I really love, like comedians back in the days, and I'm looking forward to check it out again. Next one up is Solan Ludvig og Guri med ræverumpa. Gurim with the Foxtail, I think it's the English title for this one. This is late 90s. I saw this back in the days, so I wasn't actually going to pick it up, but then I started thinking, you know what? Maybe I was a little bit hard on this film, since it was the first film I saw from the universe of Flåklypa back then, and it didn't live up to my expectation, since I loved the original. So I give it another shot. And I didn't own it either, and I need to own every Norwegian film that gets released. So I'm looking forward to check it out again at least. And it could be that I hate it just as much today, but we'll see. Next one up is also a childhood favorite. It's Frida med hjertet i hånd. Frida Straight from the Heart. It's from early 90s. I have tons of nostalgia for Frida, but this one I haven't seen since probably 92, 93 or something, back on VHS days. It was also a television series about her that I think was part of a children's show that went around the same time the movie came out, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking forward to check it out again. It's directed by Berit Nesheim. She also has done one of my absolute favorite Norwegian films of all time, The Other Side of Sunday. What's Søndagsengler, of course, in Norwegian. A movie I truly love. And we got Kiel Film Festival Volume 2. So this is a double release of Hora and Inside the Whore. Probably Norway's truly first exploitation films, if you count like the thing exploitation really stands for. At least it was marketed as that. Tons of extra on this release. You have 4 short films, 2 documentaries, if I remember rightly, and a retrospect, 1 hour interview, bloopers, behind the scenes, festival stuff. And you also get, for the first time ever on a physical release, the double bill Grindhouse version of Hora and Inside the Whore, where we only screened it back in the days in Spain in 2015 and in New York in 2012, I think it was, on the Underground Film Festival there. And it's really, really cool that the movie got screened there. So we go over to something completely different. This is normal Blu-ray releases, and this is Treasure Planet. It's from 2002. It's part of the Disney Classic, as we number them here in Norway, and this is number 42. But actually, I think it's number 43 because they removed one of the numbers from Song from the South after that movie was erased from Disney's library. But I have it on VHS. I will check that when I get to the north. But yeah, I like this film. It doesn't really feel like a Disney classic at all, but it's a fun ride, and I want to buy all of these films now before they disappear with Norwegian voice, because you can choose here between Norwegian or English. And when they are gone, it's impossible to find them. I know that for a fact, because there are so many movies I want on Norwegian voice from my childhood, but they're impossible to find today. It's directed by Ron Clements. He also did Aladdin and Little Mermaid, and The Great Mouse Detective, actually. But yeah, it's weird because that he went into this kind of territory with the classics. I would actually think that he was more of a old school dude. Next one up is one of the best movies ever made, The Neverending Story. It's Wolfgang Petersen, Germany, of course. I already own this on 4K, but the reason I bought this is because I need it with Norwegian subtitles, because we're going to screen it later on cinema. This version is going to be screened at a more small kind of theater place, while we are going to screen the DCP version without Norwegian subs, because we can't find any big scale version of this film with the Norwegian subs, sadly. Plus you have the director's cut edition that doesn't have Norwegian sub, I believe, but it's an amazing film. Everybody should check it out. The next one up is Bring Her Back. So this is a newer film. I think it came out in 2025 maybe. This is a decent Australian horror film, I think, but the reason I actually bought this is kind of weird, because I didn't find any other movies that I could pick. It was like I get 3 movies for the price of 2, and I choose 2 films, and I couldn't find the third one. And I went through the list, and it was like Superman or Fantastic Four or that Captain America new movie, and I will never bring them into my collection. Never ever. So I picked up this because I I can see myself going back and watch this again. Plus the actress from Shape of Water, I can never remember her name. She's pretty damn good in this film. Next one up is La Vie en Rose. So this is an amazing French film. I think it's from 2008, something like that. And I love the music from Edith Piaf. But the main reason actually I love this film so much is the actress that play Edith, Marion Cotillard. She does such a good job in this film, and I watched it just some weeks ago, and I found out suddenly that I just had a DVD of it, so I just wanted to upgrade it now since it was cheap. This was part of the sale where I picked up 3 movies from. Next one up is a boutique company, is Mundo Macabro. And the strange thing with Mundo Macabro is that I liked all of their films so far. But Girl Slaves of Margana Le Fay was a movie that I couldn't really get into. I love the premise of the entire thing. But yeah, it's strange because the premise of this one is 2 hot females get kidnapped by a coven of lesbians. If that's a way to say it. Yeah, and it doesn't, nothing really happens in the film, so it gets kind of boring, and yeah, I can't even talk about it anymore. I was really disappointed with this one, but it's the first Mundo Macabro film I got disappointed with, so I'm good with that. Next one up is Behind Convent Walls. It's kind of strange because I watched this film some weeks before it was announced. I've seen almost every film from Valerin Borovsik, but and I'm a big fan of him. But this one had slipped under my radar before I actually saw it, and I think I saw it on either it was YouTube or it was a shitty version at least, and I really liked it. And then Arrow announced it, and I didn't pick it up right away, or I think I actually ordered it, but it was suddenly it just was not sent, and then I forgot about it, and then it was a sale, and I picked it up, but sadly it came without slip. But who cares? I have the movie at least, and it's a cool film. I'm a big fan of the director. He's amazing. Next one up is Criterion, and it's Night on Earth. So this one is kind of special to me because I was back and forward if I should pick it up. I remember when I was a kid, I saw this on VHS and I didn't like it at all. I think I saw it because of Winona Ryder is in it. But this was back on VHS. But yeah, I went back and watched it now. And I have to say, I really like this film. It's kind of an anthology film where you following 4 different cab drivers and their passengers in 4 different cities around the world. I would say the least exciting place is Finland, and that's weird because it's close to me and I know Finland pretty well. Like, I've been there a lot of times. But they were a little bit too heavy on the Kaurismäki thing. I felt it was almost heavy-handed, but maybe it works better for a foreign, like a American audience or something. But the other 3 locations were really fun. I love the French with Béatrice Dalle. She's amazing in the film, and also Winona Ryder. I don't think she fits the role that well, but maybe that's also part of the reason I liked it so much, because it was weird to see her playing such a different role. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Jim Jarmusch, the director, because I've seen Ghost Dog and I never really landed with that one. And Dead Man I liked, but he also did that zombie movie, Dead Don't Dead Don't Die. And yeah, I never truly got into that film. Next one up is Death in Venice, and this is a 70 film that is high praised out there, one of the classics from Italy. Yeah, where to start with this one? I think the biggest problem I have with the film is that it's kind of feel like a soft take on a jolly without really using the elements. And I'm not saying they are trying to make a jolly with this film, but it's just that I'm so used to the jolly films from the same period, so my brain goes there even if I don't want to. But I couldn't get into the, it's not thriller either, but more like the mystery crime or the kills. It's not really mystery in this film either, but it's more the crime stuff. I couldn't get into that. But what the movie did was taking me on like this weird kind of soft flow that I can't even express in a good way, that I liked. It felt almost like, this is a good way to say it, it felt almost like Tarkovsky was going to make a jolly film and he got to do whatever he wanted. So you got to go into this movie with more of a sense of maybe maybe just put your brain into, you want to see art on screen. I can't really explain this. It feels like a Criterion jolly. That's actually the best way to explain it. But it's not a jolly at all. But I'm just saying because it's so soft in many ways. But I did enjoy it. I just was a little bit disappointed because I heard so much about it. But I promised myself I will go back to it and see it again. So next one up is an American film, and it's One False Move. So this is a film that I actually heard a lot of my friends on streaming actually talked about a lot. It's directed by Carl Franklin, and it's how can I explain this one? It's kind of a, you kind of jump straight into the situation of the film, and you follow these, they are probably not rednecks, but they are kind of gritty, half-assed criminals in one way, in some ways. And you are kind of following the bad guys of the story that I really liked. Billy Bob Thornton is the best of them, but on the same time you are following also Bill Paxton and his journey, and in the end they meet, and I don't want to spoil anything more, but it feels like more of those, you just jump into a situation and you're following the character kind of movie. But what I really dig with this film is that it brought me right back to the time period I really miss, the like late 80s, beginning of 90s, the kind of mood back then. And yeah, I would just say watch this. It was a fun ride. It's the same director who did Devil in a Blue Dress, and he did also another Denzel Washington film that I can't remember. Out of Time. Next one up is F for Fake. So this is an incredible, strange, structured film, because in many ways there are no structure in this film or in this documentary. But it's Orson Welles, one of the greatest of all time, you know, and I wanted to see this film for a long time, but I actually forgot about it. And when it was part of a Criterion sale, I came over, I bought it right away, and I watched it right away when I got it. I think actually I ordered it back in the days from Savi, if I can't remember wrong, but yeah, I think I need to rewatch it, but because it took me about 45 minutes into the film before I really understood what it was about. And when I understood it, it made more sense, of course, and then it was better. But I do love the question mark for the film. Like, when you watch it and when you start understanding what it's about, Orson Welles is talking also straight to us in the film, but he kind of asked the big question of a documentary that I always wondered about myself. Why the fuck do we call it a documentary? Because we are not really showing anything. We have there isn't anything that we can tell the audience this is real, because a documentary can be just as much of a lie as anything else. So it's kind of an interesting take on the entire thing. I just didn't understand the ending that well. If he was letting me, maybe that's the thing, maybe he wanted me to sit here today with a funny face asking the big question. But I liked it, but I need to watch it again. Funny Girl. So I haven't seen this film since I was probably, yeah, who knows, 12, 13 or something like that when I visited my grandmother. Because I think I saw it when I visited her when I was younger. And it's one of those films that are more cute than really entertaining. I didn't remember anything from it except, of course, Barbara Streisand. Always loved her, or when she was younger, I liked her a lot. Umar Sharif has always been great in films, and both of them work really well together here. But yeah, the movie is more or less about a woman that wants to be kind of a star, and she's told she's too fat and she's such a loser and she can't be a star. And then she tries it anyway, and you can probably guess what's happened after there. But what I think is really funny about this, because this movie is pushed as one of the big feminist movies out there, but when you watch this film and you think about the ending, is it a positive feminist film? Is it really? I can think of one fucking thing in this film that is positive for the feminist movement, at least. But I'm happy for them. If they think this is good feminist film, just go with it. I like the film though. Probably because it's anti-feminist. Next one up is Leaving Las Vegas. This is the Shout Factory release. I think it came with a slip. I'm not sure, but I didn't get one. Always been a big fan of this film. Nicolas Cage does his best role ever in this, without a doubt, and he's probably the best alcoholic type I ever seen on a movie. And Elizabeth Shue also does a great job as the hooker. Yeah, it's a movie I can go back to over and over again. I haven't checked out the 4K yet, but I will soon. And I think, if I don't remember wrongly, that this is the film Nicolas Cage almost killed himself going into the role. I remember something like that. Probably interviews out there with him talking about it. I need to check that up. The director from that one is crazy, in a good way. Next one up is a movie I'm not proud that I own, but I got this actually from a friend, probably as a fuck you. You see, I haven't opened it yet. I will probably never see this movie again. I was really disappointed, and sorry for all the people who like this, but I don't care. I'm so tired of this CGI fest. The thing that makes me question is that back in the days when they make movies, they actually listen to the audience. And the thing, like when the director made Prey, he got a lot of positive reviews online, and he got also a lot of shit from something. And one of the things was that he chose to use this girl in the film that doesn't seem like an action star at all. And I know she's not supposed to be in the film either, but she just doesn't look like the girl she is trying to play in the film. But the main focus on the negative was the CGI shit he included in the film. So why do you go from making a movie that could have been pretty good, but is really tear down by the CGI shit, and then you go and make another movie in the same universe with tons of CGI? I just can't understand it. And why the hell do you use Baby Yoda character in this film? It really destroyed everything. And also the girl, Ellen Fanning, is that her name? She was probably the most annoying thing I've seen on screen since Jar Jar Binks, maybe? I don't know. I just wanted to leave the cinema while watching this film because she annoyed the living hell out of me. And in the beginning, I actually thought that it was kind of part of that was the point. But if you make a film where you use her for almost 40 minutes of the running time, and you feel annoyed for 40 fucking minutes, then you have done a bad job, in my opinion. Leviathan. So this is an old school thriller, kind of sci-fi thriller kind of thing. I loved this as a kid. I rewatched it maybe 9 years ago or something like that, on my DVD. And I didn't feel the same when I rewatched it as I did as a kid, because as a kid I loved this film. But there was something I liked a lot about it, and it was probably the feeling of watching film as a kid again. I don't know, something like that. And I love Ernie Hudson in this film. I love RoboCop. There is a lot to like about it. I also love the kind of dirty kind of production design where they are living. I don't think they do that much in movies, and they should, like Alien and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, it's and they also have Amanda. What's her name? I can't remember, but the girl in this one, she's really beautiful. And the director who did this one also did Cobra. Yeah, I actually talked about it last time I did a stream. And what's that? Of Unknown Origin, an amazing creature feature. And First Blood 2, I'm not the biggest fan of the second and third Rambo film. I love the first. And actually the fourth one is pretty good as well. But yeah, and he also did Tombstone, and that's the reason why I talked about him, because Tombstone is such a classic, and he has done this kind of, I don't know, a little bit B movies, but they are still fun. He's a good director. I'm just sad that he didn't do more. He just, I think he quit making film after the 90s. Maybe he passed away, I don't know. Dark City, so this is the Arrow release. I actually had plan of not picking this one up because I have a Blu-ray of it, but it was part of a sale. It was really cheap, so I just picked it up. And yeah, I love this film. Australian sci-fi. Always felt like this was the movie that started the kind of Matrix look on films, the green blue light stuff that feels a little bit synthetic in a way. Something I'm not big of a fan of today. But when I look at the old films with that, like from the 90s and 2000s, it gives more sense to me, so I like them. But this is a pretty good film, or not pretty good, it's really good actually. And I highly recommend it to people who haven't seen it. The director who did this one also did The Crow. So he had, like in the 90s, he had a hell of a run. And it's also strange because he did that Spirit Gremlin movie from Australia first, and then he did The Crow, and then he did this one. So he went back to Australia after one film in America. I don't know if The Crow did well, maybe it didn't. But then his career fell in the toilet. So next one up is Deep Blue Sea. I rewatched this just maybe 4 weeks ago or something, and I was super surprised about this movie because I had a bad feeling going into it that it would have aged badly, but it actually worked pretty well. I think that everything in the movie was fun, except LL Cool J. They could have removed him from the story, in my opinion, and also the underwater sequence with the shark. That looks terrible. But everything you see, everything else looks really good, I think. It looks better than sharks movies today. So I had a lot of fun with this one. And yeah, it was a hell of a ride. I think, is it Rennie Harlem, the Finnish director? I think he was such a great director from the 80s up to the late 90s. He came out with bangers after bangers. I just watched actually some weeks ago the first movie he ever did, a Finnish action film highly inspired by Rambo. It's called Born American. And it wasn't that good, but it was so fun to see like a cheap movie from the 80s, made with like this super love to American films from back then. So you can clearly see what he wanted to do with his career. And just after that, he went to America and he did Prison with Viggo Mortensen. It's a pretty good film, actually. I have it on DVD. I don't know if it has a Blu-ray release, but it's a decent movie. And he did A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. not the highest of the Elm Street movies, but it's still a fun one. And Die Hard 2, I think Die Hard 2 is way overlooked. I liked it. I like it better today actually than I did when it was released. And John McClane actually has a better character arc in the second one, I think, than the first. Even though I love the first, though. But yeah, Ford Fairlane, amazing comedy. I rewatched that last year, right before one of the Rotten streams. I just have a DVD on that as well. I don't think it has a 4K. Cliffhanger is great. Treasure Island, I remember I thought was pretty damn bad when it was released. I had it on Laserdisc back in the days, actually. And yeah, but he has done what? Long Kiss Goodnight and then Deep Blue Sea. I think after that everything went sour. He did a Russian film called The Devil's Pass in late 2000 that I think was okay. And Mindhunters was okay. I actually watched it because Anthony recommended it for me. So I'm probably will be grabbing that. It's just got released on Blu-ray now in Norway, so I think I will be picking it up later this year when it drops in price. Next one up is the Umbrella, what's it called? Umbrella of Cherbourg, I think you say. This film blew me away. I had heard about it, but I didn't know anything about it. I loved everything with this film, and I'm not a big musical guy, and this isn't really a musical, but they are singing through the entire film, but they are singing through their dialogue. But it's so genuine, original, and I've never seen anything like it before. And that's something I love the most with movies. They don't really need to entertain me all the time. It could also be that they just feel something special, and this movie truly feels special. You also have, what's her name, Catherine something, Denevue. I don't know how to say these French names, but she is so beautiful in this film, and yeah, it's something also with the production design, the color palette, everything just looks so stylistic and also a little bit simple, but in a beautiful, beautiful way. So I think many movies have been inspired by that one. Next one up is Shoeshine. So this is Vittorio De Sica's movie, and I've only seen one of his films before, but that's one of my favorite films of all time. It's Umberto D. It's incredible. So going into this, I was a little bit frightened that, had high expectation. But this is also a great movie. It's not up there with Umberto D for me, but if I just take the ending from this one, it's up there. But yeah, you're following two brothers that are put in prison for some small criminal thing they did, and they are kind of tortured in prison. Not really physically, but more mentally, of course, because they are in prison, and they are really young. But the ending, that's torture for the audience. It's really hard, the ending on this film. It's both a beautiful film, but also a really hard film to watch. It's set in post World War II Italy. Roma was I was taking off. Rome. Eyes Wide Shut. I don't need to talk about this film. I've talked about it so many times. Still haven't checked out the 4K, but I will. But I will wait till Christmas time, or at least November, because I haven't seen this movie almost every year around that time period, and I will do this year at least, since I have the 4K now. It's an amazing film. I just love this film for everything. I think it's probably the most overlooked film from Kubrick, because it got a lot of shit when it was released from half of the reviews out there. I don't know why. It's a good one. Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise works really well together. Next one up is I Walk with a Zombie and Seventh Victim. So I did not like The Seventh Victim. I thought that was a slog to get through. It was nothing interested in me in that film. But I Walk with a Zombie is an amazing movie. It looks incredible, and it has this insane beautiful 4K restoration. I was like, it looks incredible. I highly recommend this release just for the I Walk with a Zombie movie. It's produced by the RKO Radio, what's it, Pictures, one of the 5 big studios back in the days. And it made me think while watching this, I'm so sad that they went bankrupt so early, because those were the only one, I believe, in America that made kind of smaller budget horror films. And they made one of my favorite films from America, The Black Cat. No, sorry, The Cat People. And yeah, it's really a shame that they just disappeared. But they had a lot of movies during that time period, so I still have a lot to go before I've seen all of them. Next one up is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So I haven't seen this movie for many, many years, and I haven't checked out this release either yet. But I didn't own this film on any format. And I was a big fan of Big Top Pee-wee when I was a kid, because that was the only movie I owned that I could see. But I saw this when I was probably around 20 or something. And I liked it. It's a fun one, but I think I will like it even more today, because it has a past now, kind of, with me knowing more about the production, and also knowing that it's Tim Burton who directed it. I didn't know that when I watched it. And it doesn't feel like a Tim Burton film in my book. Some of the stuff does, but yeah, I'm just looking forward to check it out again. I hope that somebody will release Big Top Pee-wee, because I don't own that either. So I'm super happy to own it on physical. Next one up is Birth. So this is one of those overlooked movies from Nicole Kidman that came out. I actually forgot about it, and when I saw the poster, or the release when they announced it, I actually forgot that I had seen the film. But it's Jonathan Glazer who directed it, and I think he's an exciting director. He hasn't done much. He used a long time before he does every movie. Maybe that's why they are pretty cool, the films he does. He does strange things. I think that his last film, The Zone of Interest, I think that was at least the second or third best movie for that year. I think it came out the same year as Godzilla Minus One, so maybe the second best I saw. But yeah, he is an exciting director. And this is probably the most normal film he has done. I still haven't checked out that, what's it called, Sexy Beast. I haven't seen that film yet. But I would absolutely say that this is more normal than Under Your Skin. But I love Under Your Skin. Let's see. Oh, I just gotta take a movie. I don't know. Okay. Partner Labels from Vinegar Syndrome. Boys Go to Jupiter, I think it was. This was one of my blind buys from Vinegar Syndrome, or the partner labels. It's Cartoonia, I think they are called. This is an animation film that I didn't enjoy that much. It wasn't bad, but the animation looked like old Windows screeners from maybe 95 or 98 or something. It's really terrible animation in this. And it kind of destroyed also a lot of the enjoyment I had from what I hope it was going to be. So yeah, this was a one-time watch for me. I wouldn't say it's a bad movie, but it's not something I will ever see again. Next one up is The Glass Worker. So this is another animation film, and this movie is actually from Pakistan. So I think that was the main reason I picked it up. But I also had heard about it because it was part of a festival somewhere I read about earlier. This is from Watermelon, I believe they are called. They are pretty new partner labels from Vinegar Syndrome. This movie is a mixed bag. You have half of the movie that is amazing and half of it is pure garbage, in my opinion. I like the love story of the film, but I didn't like all the war drama and that. It just didn't work for me. I couldn't feel any emotion for the soldier who gets hurt and everything. And I find it so weird because the director is saying in the bonus feature here that he wanted to make a kind of a world that is not placed anywhere, but still it feels like every fucking character in the movie is European, and and the location in the movie is set in like Europe. So I don't know. I didn't feel what he was talking about. That it's like a hidden land. No, not hidden, but you know, fairy tale land where you don't focus on colors or anything like that. But yeah, Shanghai Blues. So this was a movie that I picked up because I like Asian cinema, and on top of that, I think Film Movement has released a lot of good stuff. And it's also from the 80s, so that was a big year for me. Sue Hark has directed this one, and he also did Once Upon a Time in China 1, 2, and 3, and I love those films. And he also did a Cat Tree film that I have seen, We're Going to Eat You. And he also did some Van Damme films in America. I can't remember which of them he did, but Shanghai Blues is also a mixed bag for me. I think it's stylistic and in a good way, but the problem is when the movie goes normal, it kind of doesn't work together that well, in my opinion. And it also uses the classical Chinese comedy that I've never been a big fan of. I love comedy in the kung fu films and the horror films and action films from China, but right away when the comedy hits drama, the drama just has zero impact for me. So I was more watching just beautiful images here and not feeling anything. But it's an okay film, and I'm happy I've seen it, but this is not staying in my collection. And it's a 4K release as well. Next one up is another film that absolutely will not stay in my collection, Embalmer. So I picked this up because I'm actually done picking up just random SOV films. I bought so many of them, and I maybe liked 5% of all of the shit I bought. But I sold all of them, the ones I don't like. And they are pretty easy to sell, strangely enough. But I picked up this because it's a SOV film, a shot with kind of like black people, but I thought it was going to be more like gangster style stuff. But it's actually just that the people are black. So, but the problem with the film is that they are just wandering around, hearing noises and acting scared, and it got so boring because the video style is good when you do crazy stuff with it, but right away when you're using video to capture just normal horror, it just doesn't work. It gets boring. There is another feature on this release that is a sci-fi. There's a bonus feature, but it's a sci-fi, and that movie was also terrible, but it was a little bit better than Embalmer. But yeah, I can't recommend this to release at all. Next one up is Kill the Jockey. So I've been back and forward with this release because I didn't know if I was going to keep it, but I found out I will keep it. I bought it on a sale. It's a Music Box releasing. And I was looking forward to see this film because I've heard a lot about it. And it is kind of cool, many things in the film. But I think when I was done with it, I just felt like there was just 2 acts in many ways in the film. And the second act doesn't really evolve that much. So I didn't feel much for the film. But after I had some time thinking about it, I've been back and forward now for weeks. I found out that I will keep it because I really want to check it out again. And it has some really cool scenes, especially some dance numbers in it that are really, really funky. So yeah, it's staying. Next one up is an American monster movie. So this is Agfa, a company I really love. They release so many strange things. I had this release before, but I sold it and I regretted it right away. So it finally dropped in price, so I picked it up again. And I will be keeping this one. It's a terrible monster movie, but it's kind of that I love monster films. And also when a monster looks like an AIDS cell just outside a camel or something like that, it's so dumb. But I had fun watching it, so I don't really know why I sold it, to be honest. It was a strange choice, but now I have it again. So next one up is Dead Boys Can't Fly. This is a Vinegar Syndrome archive release, and yeah, this is maybe the most rapey movie I ever seen. It's not much nudity and stuff like that, but it's so many times like somebody is doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing to another person. I felt like it was like a new rape every 5 minutes or something. And you get silicone boobies and force entry, to say it in a better way, throughout the 100 minutes of running time, over and over and over again. The boobies I can enjoy. I can actually recommend this film just for a one-time watch, but I will not be keeping it in the collection because I don't think I will ever go back to it. And it was really fucking dirty. I'm saying dirty like it looked dirty, the film. Deadwood Park. So this was another movie that was sold as like an SOV film that I was jumping over right away when I saw that. But then I read about it online and I saw that everybody was praising this film as being something really big from that nobody talked about. It's Saturn Core also, and I actually stopped buying most of their releases. It's a cheap, almost no budget mockumentary from America, I think 2006, 2007. And the movie has insane rating online. And I have no clue why, because what I feel this movie tries to do is build up a setup that works, of course, but it like the acting is so bad, so it doesn't really work as a mockumentary, and it never kind of uses the bad acting as a reason in the film. They could have done it simple, just said it was a reenactment thing or something like that. That would have worked, but the premise was decent, and I gave it 5 out of 10. That's pretty high for me, especially for a movie I didn't really enjoy. But they did a pretty decent job for what it is, but I will not be keeping it in the collection. Ghost Keeper. So this is a Canadian international picture release. A big fan of them as well. They have released tons of films that I love. I think I have half of their films in my collection, and they are movies I really enjoy. Yeah, so this is a 1981, I think, Canadian film. And I had heard about it before. I think I read about it or something many years ago. And yeah. The director who did this one, I can't remember his name, but he did a movie back in the days. Or he did a movie back in the days, of course. But back in the days, I had that movie on VHS, and it's called, in Norwegian, it's called Bygning, I think. But in English, I looked it up, and it was called, Bygning means in English building, the building. But in English, or the original name is Tower. And I really want to check out that movie again because I can just remember bits and pieces from it. I think I saw it many times when I was a kid. I think it's about like some people trapped in a building or something like that, and the building's starting to kill them off in a almost like a slasher type of way. But it's been years. But Ghost Keepers was both a disappointment, but also an enjoyable watch in many ways. I will be keeping it. It's kind of cool to have this snowy setting. I like that, and it's isolated, the location and everything like that, and cold. But and the acting was solid as well. So I don't have any problems with the film, except that I remember I was a little bit disappointed that they never moved from that main location, if you like. I thought that was the most boring location in the entire film, but it was probably easy to film there. Another blind buy, and this one I got really cheap. So I looked it up and I saw it said like sexual drama or something like that, and I love some sexual thrillers and stuff like that from the 90s, 80s, 90s, favorite genre. This is later, I think it's 2010, something like that. And this is Dark Star who released it. And Dark Star has released some good films. But this film and the other film on this one, Sapiosexual, is among the worst films I ever seen. I can almost use the word I hate these films. It's trash above trash. It's actually worse than the worst SOE films I ever seen. And I know I'm putting a lot of strong words here, but man, these movies are bad. Deborah Twins has directed it, and she stars as the main lead in both films. And she is probably 50, 60 years old, but she dresses in these films like 25 years old, and she acts like she's 20, and she's sleeping or flirting with young dudes, and it's nothing in the films I ever want to see again, and it's nothing I ever want to tell anybody to see. Not my worst enemy out there. Nobody should watch these films. It's sad. And it's also kind of funny because sometimes in the film you can experience stuff you only see in the worst kind of famous films out there for being trash, right? Because you can see that they are talking without mic, and you can see that they have forgot to put on lights, or it's so weird. Next one up is In Our Blood. So this was a movie I actually was looking forward to see. It's Utopia who released this, and it was a decent film. Absolutely just on the mid, like 5 out of 10 probably. It's a combination between like a mockumentary thing and a horror. But you can feel through the entire first act of the film that they stole the whole premise from Blair Witch Project. I'm not talking about The Witch or anything like that, but more like they're interviewing people, talking to people and stuff like that, so we get to experience the past story and all of that. And I thought everything of that thing in the film was boring. I do think the movie elevated itself up a little bit for the last act, and the ending is pretty okay. But it's way overrated online, and we have seen all of this before. It's nothing new here, and it's not really that exciting either. So yeah, I will be selling that one. Next one up is Pledge Night. So this is an old Vinegar Syndrome release that I finally got with slipcover, and I was looking forward to check this one out because I love so many of the Vinegar Syndrome films that are more like trashy 80s, beginning of the 90s kind of horror comedy stuff. But yeah, I think that the movie kind of falls a little bit in between two subgenres, because it's kind of like a high school type of movie that is more leaning towards comedy, but then you have the horror stuff, maybe even 3 layers here, because then you have like 40 minutes out in the film it stops being this high school comedy thing and it goes into becoming more of a horror film that isn't scary, but that doesn't matter if the movie is good. But then in the last part it goes completely mental and starts being something like Evil Dead. So it sounds really exciting, but it never really rocked my boat, because it kind of falls in between, and none of the genres really work by themselves. So I think it would have worked a lot better if they kind of mixed the genres more together, not having like, yeah. Next one up is The Sales Girl. The pledge thing is not staying in my collection either, sadly. Oh shit, I'm recording here on I'm just checking if it's still recording, because I can't do this afterwards. I just need to release it. I have so less time these days. The Sales Girl was a movie I picked up during a sale as well. This is a newer film, and it's Film Movement, so I was a little bit looking forward for it, because I like them, as I said. And also because it's from Mongolia, and I don't think I've seen many movies from Mongolia, maybe none, except this one. I think this is also a decent film. It's not something I will ever watch again. I don't think the lead girl in this one worked at all. She's kind of playing a lot on the sexual stuff. The movie is about that, right? But you don't really want to see her doing anything, and she looks so young also. So it was kind of strange watching all of that shit. But yeah, I can't talk much about it, but I will say that it progresses towards the mid and to the late of the film that puts it up a little bit, that I liked. But there is also some lesbian stuff in this movie that I have no clue what was really why it was there, and all of that. I can't really recommend this film either. It's not bad. Maybe I saw it on a wrong day. I don't know. But I will not be watching it again. I will sell it. Next one up is Breaking the Girls. So this is an IFC film, and I also liked some of their releases. This is a sexual thriller from 2012. More of a mystery kind of movie, I would say, kind of like Wild Things. I was really looking forward to check this one out because I love those films, as I said. But the whodunit kind of thing of the film didn't work at all. It was kind of dumb. When you know what, when you know the twist of the story, you're just thinking, this is even worse than the ending of Scream 3. It's really fucking bad. Yeah, and it's also kind of boring because one of the females who act in the film is really beautiful. The other one, not so much. She's regular minus, I don't know. And it's strange that they cast those two girls together because you don't believe in it at all. And of course, it was a female director because females can't direct erotic thrillers. They never have directed good erotic thrillers. And please name me one if you know about any, because I have tried to look that up and I can't find a single fucking film. The Encampment. So this is a political documentary from Watermelon again. And yeah, I will be keeping this, even though I'm going to say that it was a really bad made documentary. It feels like a YouTube documentary that you can find hundreds of us on YouTube. But I will keep this because in case YouTube closes, as it looks like they are going to do, because it looks like they are going to go more into like television or streaming, then probably many of the stuff you can find now easily will be gone. So I will be keeping this just so I can remind myself and remind friends if they want how crazy the times have been we are living in with the crazy fucking left is. And I'm not talking about just the left side of politics, but I'm talking about the far left, the extreme left, how insane they have been. Because when you watch this film and they try to talk positive about those people, in some ways, I can't even understand how anybody can watch how they are behaving and think it's normal. It's insane. So that's the reason I will keep this, just in case the future is censored. I will have that one. So, Last Mistress. I bought this because I saw this film before we had that Asia Argento stream. And this was one of the Asia Argento films that I liked. It's a movie that I can't remember anything of the movie, and I'm happy about that because I'm looking forward to check it out again. But I remember I saw it on YouTube, shitty quality, so it would be good to see it with good quality. And it's also Katrin Brelan who did this movie, and I'm a big fan of her. She did Romance. I like that film a lot. Fat is a good film. And Anatomy of Hell I thought was decent. And Bluebird was could have been really good at least. But I do like her as a director. She's crazy. So I do looking forward to check this one out. Asia Argento also. Sometimes she is one of the best actresses ever, and sometimes she looks like she had never been on stage or screen anytime before. So it's fun to check out her films. She's actually worse in acting when she works with her father. So next one up is After School. I had this on DVD, so I'm super happy I got to upgrade it. It's one of those films that I don't feel anybody talk about, but I do really like this film. It's an American film. I can't remember the year it was made. Maybe early 2000s. I'm not sure. Or maybe late. I don't know. It's the Flash dude, the dude who plays Flash. I think he's a Canadian actor who plays the lead in this one. Yeah, I don't know what happened with this film because when it was released, I remember it was a big deal, but then it just disappeared. Nobody talked about it again. It's weird, weird. So next one up is Bad Luck, Banging, and Loony Porn. This movie I'm super happy to own on Blu-ray. I have the DVD. Or maybe I already sold it. At least I put it out for sale. It's the Romanian Guido who did this film. I'm calling him Guido. He's kind of cool because I've seen 2 of his films now, and both of them has been pretty damn fun. But Jules Raul, I can't remember, something like that. But yeah, this movie is good, and the female teacher or actress who played the teacher, she's amazing in the film. And it's a really weird movie. You have to see it. It's kind of, yeah, I will not spoil it. It kind of asks one of the most important questions in our time that I haven't seen any other movie actually dwell into. So highly recommend this film. It's not for everyone, but I think everyone should check it out because suddenly it is for you and you will never forget it. Or I don't think you will forget it, even if it's not for you. But so next one up is Christina. What's the name? Christina Lindberg, the original eye patch wearing, butt kicking movie babe. So this is a documentary from Colpix, and it's a Swedish documentary about Lindberg and her journey. I never seen the full documentary before, but I've seen the documentary that this is kind of like they made a documentary that was finished in 2016-17, I believe. Maybe it's the same, I don't know, but I saw that on cinema. But I think this is longer, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's not the best documentary, but I do enjoy everything regarding Christina Lindberg, and it's absolutely something I needed in my collection. Plus, it's Swedish, and I collect all the Scandinavian films. So, super happy to own this. Only thing I was a little bit sad of, they should have included that. It's a spoof movie they made in Sweden. I can't remember the name for it. So the next one up is Film Movement again, and it's Fancy Dance, and it's also Sumo Do, Sumo Don't. Fancy Dance is a middle on the road kind of movie, a rock. If I remember rightly, I think it was a rock musician or pop musician. I can't remember what kind of music it was. But he turned himself into a monk, and then his friends, I believe it was, came and wanted him to go back to the music world, and he does, but as a monk then. It was okay. It was nothing special. I will never watch that movie again. But Sumo Do, Sumo Don't was a really fun watch. I really like that one. And it's actually also a lot of comedy in that one, but Japanese though. But it kind of worked because it leans a lot over to the Western kind of movies, like an Underdog Story and all that. But it took me almost 40 minutes before I got into the film. But when I first did, I loved everything about it. So I think I will like it even more the next time I see it. It's absolutely a movie I highly recommend to people to check out. I feel like the story is the same as Mighty Ducks. Next one up is a SOV film again, actually, but this is a Swedish one, and it's the first Swedish SOV film, I think, and it's The Bleeder. So this is also Colpix who released this one, and it's from the early 80s. I didn't like the film at all, and I'm totally honest about that. I think that the premise for the film, the characters and everything worked except the killer. I think he was a little bit annoying halfway in, but I did like the girls that was there. It was like a rock band that traveled to this. I think the bus break down, the tour bus, but it's filmed like this, almost like a. The director says in the bonus feature that I made the first dogma film from Sweden, and he's kind of right. But the problem here is that it feels like everything is filmed improvised, and it makes the acting better normally, but and in this film as well, I will believe. But it gets so damn boring because they're talking about normal shit all the time, and there's no humor in it. It's nothing. So you're just sitting there watching four girls or four women talk about stupid things for 80 minutes of the running time, and of course they get killed one by one. But there is no fun kills. There is nothing. There's one cool shot in the film that I think was really cool. A total where he's killing one of them. I actually wonder how they did it. And I also like actually the end, like the shot with the shotgun in the ending. It was a cool way to film it. But outside that, I didn't like it. But I did like the bonus feature on this one. So, and I will keep it because it's Swedish. In the Bloom, Big World Pictures. I know nothing about this film, so I can't talk about it. I haven't seen it yet, but I will probably soon. And next one up is Folies Morteris and the films of Antoine Palissier. And this is also SOV films, but this is SOV films I love. Man, this was a surprise. It's actually two of the films on this release is among the best SOV films I ever seen. Not the best, but among the best. Palissier, the director, French. He must be the best SOV director ever when it comes to violence. There is so many great SFX shots in this one, made simple but still really, really cool, and they look disgusting in many ways. It's 6 films on this release. You get 2 features, 2 novella films, and 2 short films, if I remember rightly. And Lloyd Kaufman is actually in one of his films. But I really enjoy these films, and I highly recommend it to everybody who like SOV films, and I highly recommend it to people who haven't seen SOV films just to check out if you like SOV films. They are good, to be frank. So next one up is 88 films, and it's part of the Italian collection, The Barbarians. I had this film on Blu-ray already, but I sold my Blu-ray, so I actually made more, or about the same money that I got this one for free, if you like. So, but I needed this one to complete my Italian collection. That's the only collection now I have, or 1 out of 2 collection I actually have that I need every movie from. So this is Deodato and is it Powell Brothers they're called? I only seen 3 films from them. I love them as a child. But this is actually one of my favorite, so bad it's amazing movies when it comes to this. It's not sword and sorcerer films. It's more like fantasy films, right? But it's like the Muscle Troopers from America going into Italian cinema, and I love it. And you have Michael Berryman in it, and Eva LaRue. She's beautiful. And in supporting roles. And yeah, it's the best scene in the entire film, and he does it 3 times, is when they hang him and he used this crazy ass scream, or it sounds like a fucking wolf or something. Yeah, I highly recommend this one if you want to watch something that is so bad it gets fun. Ending is also so fun, The Big Monster. Next one up is another Italian collection film, is Gardenia, and this is a 70 movie. I think it's 78, 79. Paulella, I think the director's name is, and I don't really think I like this film. That it wasn't bad, but I don't think it was anything remembering about. I remember the tagline was something like some kill with weapons, other kill with flowers or something like that. And the dude is walking around, and there is flowers in the film, but most of the killing is actually with weapons. But yeah, the lead actor in the film didn't work at all. Or he worked if you look at it comedically. But yeah, I think the movie was fine. There are some cool fight scenes in it if you like the Italian style, you know, over the top, throwing each other around kind of stuff. And but I can't remember much from the film, to be honest. I remember the lead actor. He was not good. Shango, another Italian collection movie. So this is also early 70, I believe. Spaghetti Western. So this is kind of, if you want to show somebody what a spaghetti Western is, I'm not saying good, I'm not saying bad, I'm just saying you want to show somebody what a spaghetti Western is, this is a perfect movie to show it with. Because this movie have everything a spaghetti Western should have. But it kind of lacked the exploitation part that I love with this spaghetti westerns, where they go overboard with something, even if it's violence or nudity or racism or sexism or whatever it is. I love that with spaghetti westerns, when they dare to push the limit. This movie doesn't at all, and it's kind of holding itself back just because of that. And it's the lead dude in this film is really good. I hope I can see him in many more spaghetti western films. I haven't checked it out if he had been in a lot of one. But I had high hopes on this because the director who did this one, he has done one other film I've seen before, and that's the crazy bad jolly that I don't even think is a jolly. Tropic of Cancer or something like that. It was part of the Forgotten Jolly set from Vinegar Syndrome, and I think that's the worst, one of the worst jollies ever made. Next one up is Full Moon High. So this is Eureka Entertainment. This movie I saw endless times as a kid on VHS. I have super nostalgia for it. This is as 80s as it gets for me, and sexy 80s. I love the style of this film. It's throwing me right back to the kid time. And to be honest, when I was a kid, I liked this movie more than Teen Wolf 1 and 2. Or the second one is not good at all, but the first one. And when I rewatch this now, I think I still do, but I haven't seen Teen Wolf for years because I don't own it. But I need to pick it up and check it out again because I actually like this film a lot. I think I gave it 7 out of 10 or something after I saw it. It's a really sexy 80s movie. I loved it. It was a fun rewatch. Next one up is an Arrow release, and it's Speak No Evil. So I was super happy when Arrow announced this because I was wondering if the original Speak No Evil wouldn't get a release. Don't watch the remake. Please don't do it. Watch the original. The remake has nothing on the original. This one is close to a masterpiece. It's one of the few horror films that is made the last 5 years that I truly like. And yeah, it's a different kind of horror also, because the horror is more about the tension in the room, not kind of any jump scare or stuff like that. It's a Dutch-Danish co-production, and in this actually it makes sense when you think about the story. Normally I always question, why the hell do you want to make a Norwegian film in Poland, or Poland film in UK, and except of the money, of course, but yeah. Next one up is a 4K release of 11 Days and 11 Nights 2. So I had a double feature screening for myself with the first and the second one. I hadn't seen the first one yet. I thought I had, but it was the first time I saw it when I saw these two together. And the first one is pretty damn good. The second one is also good, but just because of the eroticism in the film. The movie itself is trash. But I do think Joe D'Amato is really good with playing with the sexiness in his films. And the first one is more leaning towards early 80s. It's late 80s if I'm not mistaken, but it's leaning towards kind of the late 70s, early 80s kind of eroticism, while this one is super, super 90s, 80s, 90s, late 80s and 90s erotic. And that's more my flavor because that's what I grew up with. I'm super happy I got this on physical. I never would have believed that this movie was getting released at all, but we got it on 4K, and that's kind of weird. But yeah, I think actually also I was thinking when I watched the second one that I wish it was Jessica Moore that was in this one, because the role in this one is the booby girl. What's her name again? Ross something. Ross. Kirsty Ross, maybe. I can't remember, but I like the girl from the first one better, to say it like that. But both of them are fine. It's just that one of them can't act at all. Next one up is Sorority House Massacre. It's an 80s slasher. And it's kind of to the book you can go with a slasher, and that's probably why I didn't like it that much. It was a weak watch, this one, I think. It's part of the slasher collection, but I don't need to collect all of them, so I just buy the ones I haven't seen before, and then I sell them if I don't like them. But you get a girl I remember really well because of Vicious Lips, and she was also part of Alien Nation, actually. But Angela O'Neill, or Nelly, or Nail, or something like that, she's in this one, and you always remember her face. It's strange. She isn't even looking kind of like this typical slasher hottis, but she has a face you remember in a strange way. But yeah, the movie was kind of boring. The only thing that actually was a little bit cool was the killer in this one, because every time they show the killer, it's kind of really dark and a lot of tension. Phantom of the Opera. So I have no idea what Vinegar Syndrome did with this one, but they clearly released it on a 4K, and it's one of the worst movies ever made. I actually got this for free from a friend of mine. I know he did this also to me to give me a big middle finger, as a friend do. But he knows how much I hate this film, but he hates it as well. So I don't think, yeah. But I will keep it because I have it on DVD, or I had it. I can't remember if I sold that one as well. But I will keep all the Argento films in my collection, even though I don't like at least 3 of the films he did. Dracula 3D, this one, and also the deep cut from Severin. I didn't like that at all. But yeah, Phantom of the Opera is trash. I will probably never see this movie again. Maybe with friends if somebody want to see it, but not alone. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. So this was a strange release from Vinegar Syndrome, a TV movie from the 70s, 76, 70, something like that. So I love the creature stuff in the film. That's amazing. But I think they were cutting back to like boo, scary stuff way too many times. But I did love the creature stuff so much. So I know I will go back to this film many times in the future. And it is staying in my collection, without a doubt. I have some films I really hope Vinegar Syndrome will be releasing through the new line. Since they are starting to release TV films, there are some old films that I really want. Bacterium. So this one I was really looking forward to check out. It's an Italian film shot in UK. That's pretty amazing just by that. And it's also a 80s kind of trash, not creature feature, but I would almost call it like a Melting Man type of movie. But it was so fucking boring. The only good thing with the film is the stuff in the tunnel. I like all of the shots in the tunnel. It's really funny also because they use the same location like 6 times, where you see people wandering and you are going to think that they are wandering further, but they are actually on the same spot. They just walk around the same circle many times. Yeah. Yeah, the movie was trash. I want to keep all the Italians, but this one is a hard one to keep. Because the only reason I will keep it is because it's Italian, but I don't know. I should sell it. This movie I will never in my life sell. This is one of the best watches I have had, at least so far this year. Man, it was fun. It brought me back to The Toxic Avenger, Evil Dead, Brain Dead, Bad Taste, Meet the Feebles, all of those crazy good Reanimator 80s, beginning of the 90s films. It's almost like a movie that has come out of the shadows for me, because I never heard about this film, and it is a movie, if I saw it as a kid, I would have seen it 100 times. Yeah, I love this film. You have Bigfoot in the movie, you have aliens, you have zombies, and they are all done in a kind of way where you kind of understand just the journey. You don't care about logic or anything like that. And you don't ever think that the movie is going way too much, even though it's going way too much. So yeah, I really love this film. It's one of those films that I will recommend to everybody I know when they talk about, like, do you have any movie to recommend? This is one of those, because I don't think many people have heard about this film, at least over here. And it's always fun to see George Kennedy in films. So it's absolutely a movie I highly recommend. Next one up is a Kino Lorber release, and it's Road Trip. So this is a movie I've seen many times during my 20s. I really like this film. I will probably check it out soon. It's been a while since the last time I saw it, but I only had it on DVD, so it was a nice upgrade, and it was part of a sale, so I got it cheap. So it's fun to think that Todd Phillips went from this and then made Joker later on. Like, if you just think about the genres and everything, it's kind of cool. Billy Madison, probably my favorite Adam Sandler film. This is the only movie he has done where I actually feel like there is a reason for him playing a retard. But I really dig this film. It's not more like a comedy for me. It's more of a cozy, kind of cute watch, if that makes sense. Always like this. And I miss Bridget Wilson a lot, so it's fun going back to see old films with her. So I haven't had time to check this one out either since I got it. Same with this. Bug. So this must be one of the lowest quality films from Exorcist. I can't remember his name. But anyway, but still, it's a good film. But I have only seen it once. I've had it on DVD for years, but I never went back to watch it. But I saw it back in the days when it was released, and I remember I liked it. But I also remember it felt a little bit kind of trapped in a way. But I'm looking forward to check it out again. So it will be a fun watch. William Friedkin was the name. Next one up is Far and Away. So this is a movie I love. I know it's weird because this movie no one talks about, but I always loved it. Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise is amazing in it, and especially Nicole Kidman actually. But I love the boxing in the film, and I love the history drama. I love the love story. I do think this is Ron Howard's best movie, to be honest. It's a beautiful movie. And it's a cool speech also in the film that Tom Cruise does. It's not speech, but he screams out something about his forefathers or something like that I really dig. Give me goosebumps listening to it. Next one up is The Cell. So I got this one also part of the 3 releases of a sale, 3 for 2, because I wasn't actually planning on buying this, but this and 2 other ones that I will talk about soon. But I paid $13 for this with a slipcover, so it was worth it. There are some bad CGI in it, but it was back in the days as well. I hated some of the CGI in the film, but I just love the design of everything, and it feels so damn authentic in many ways. And Tarsem Singh is maybe the strangest director out there, because he did this one and he did The Fall, that are both movies that are pure and original and looks incredible. But after that, he just disappeared and did a lot of crap. I have no idea what happened. Why? And I hope he goes back and makes something similar. And it's hard to say similar also because The Fall and The Cell is totally different. But they have kind of this static kind of thing that is weird. I don't know. But I like both of them really, really a lot. So I'm super happy to have it on 4K. Next one up. Let's see. Next one up is Jason Goes to Hell. So this is the best movie ever made. Everybody agrees with me. I was not thinking of picking this one up either, but since I got it on the sale, $13 each title, I can probably sell it for 20 if I want. But I actually enjoy this film a little bit. I think it's on my top 5 at least of best Friday the 13th films. And it's mostly because it feels like something completely different than the rest of them. I think originality is kind of the most important thing in films. And this is a weird one. It has some bad effects also, but it also has some good effects because it's kind of mixtured when you see him underneath the ground. It's also some cool kills in it. I don't want to defend Jason Goes to Hell. I just want to say I'm happy to own it, and I will not be selling it. Jason X, maybe even a more hated film, I don't know. But I actually always thought Jason X was a little bit fun. Mostly because he gets to kill the same people twice. And some of the kills are really, really cool. The ending I never liked. But I'm actually looking forward to check these out again. And I'm wondering if I will watch the whole series and just go from Friday the 1st. I think I have that on 4K, and I think I have the second as well, if I'm not mistaken. And then just see Blu-rays for the rest, and then see these two. And Freddy vs. Jason in the end, of course. So next one up is Steelbook, and it's Sisu 2, Road to Revenge. Yeah. So I actually like the second one better than the first. The only problem I have with the Sisu films is that I love the premise, I love many things with it, but I wish they didn't go full retard with the action. Because when the movie, both of them actually, doesn't go completely insane, then the movie is great. But right away when they go super insane, when the tank is jumping over shit and stuff like that, it kind of loses everything it builds up. But I just wish they made both of these films more like First Blood, the first one, Rambo film, where it's more grounded. It would have been maybe one of the best action films ever. But I had a lot of fun with this one. We'll probably watch both of them on our evening. They are absolutely movies I think deserve the right for their life. Next one up is Minority Report. So I have not seen this film for over 15 years, I believe. But I liked it a lot when I saw it back in the days. The only thing I didn't like about it is the twist in the ending. I think it's a little bit forced. But it's 5 minutes of the film. The rest of the movie is fucking great. And I also think we are heading to that kind of society pretty damn soon. So I think the movie actually means a lot more today than it did when it was released. I'm looking forward to check it out again. Next one up is Married to the Mob. This was the hardest buy I did this time around because I don't like this movie and I've seen it now 3 times, but I promised myself I will have it in my collection. And I sold the old version I had on Blu-ray, and I sold that version for $80, $85. No, wait, $75 it is. And that means that I got this one for free and the one I sold for free. Plus, I earned a little bit money. So, thank you, Married to the Mob. But I will keep this one until I see it again. I will see it one more time because I should actually like this film. It's Jonathan Demme who directed it, and he is a great fucking director with Silence of the Lambs, Something Wild, Mancurity, Candidate, and Philadelphia, also amazing film. And you also have Michelle Pfeiffer in the film, and I love her. So it's really strange that I don't enjoy the film more. But I have the same with some other films. Some films just don't hit me the right way. Next one up is Boxcar Bertha. So this one I knew I needed to get just because who directed it. It's something about Martin Scorsese. I just want to watch all of his films. I just finished some months ago his short films from Criterion. And I like most of his films, or most of his films from Wolf and Wall Street and backwards. The new stuff I haven't liked that much. But I never heard of this movie before, so it was a big shock for me when I saw he was the director. But Barbara Hirsch is great as always, and I think I remember her mostly from Falling Down, or I remember her from many films, but that's the film she stood out for me. And David Carradine is also great, so I'm looking forward to check this one out. Please tell me if anybody's seen this film. It's a movie I don't know. The Gambler, I believe I saw this back in the days because I told my father I was getting this, and he really loved this film. But yeah, I think I've seen it because I can remember some scenes from it. But it could also be that I just jumped in some day when he was watching it. I don't know. But he said he still had it, have it on VHS, so that's cool. And you have in this one also James Caan. He's an amazing actor, and Burt Young is great. And there's a lot of good actors in this one, I believe. I can't remember the name of that woman on the front cover, but she looks familiar. Next one up is Body of Evidence. So I never been the biggest Madonna fan, but I always loved this film. This is pure 90s kind of erotic thriller type, drama type movie that I always loved. It's directed by Das German Uli Edel. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I do. And you have William Dafoe, Madonna, Julianne Moore. Who else was in it? Frank Langella was in it. Yeah, that's right. He's amazing as well. Uli has done some incredible nasty stuff before, so he's a crazy dude. I love the gritty Jennifer Lee. What's her name? Jason Lee. Last Exit to Brooklyn. That's a movie I need. Actually, I have it on DVD, but I really need that. I hope Vinegar Syndrome should release that from Cinematograph. And also his drug movie, Christiane F. That's the German, most famous German film he ever did. It's a really good one. So next one up is Terror Firmer. Brian told me that this was a good film. I was not believing in him because I don't think Troma has done many good films after 95. I did like Toxic 4. I also like that Poltergeist, or what's it called? I love that film. But I was going into this one with low expectations. But man, this was a fun ride. This was how Truma made movies back in the days. It's crazy. The stairway scene I had seen before actually, and that's probably the most craziest scene in the film. I had seen it on a YouTube clip or something, but I didn't know it was from this film. But holy shit, this movie is great. I love the jokes, and yeah, everything old school Truma, the madness they brought was amazing. And in the ending, when the daughter of Lloyd Kaufman shows up, Charlotte Kaufman, it's kind of the scene is kind of, I didn't know that was I could see in her face that she was related to him, so I looked it up, and it was of course his daughter. But yeah, it's so fun. I won't spoil it, but you have to check out Terra Firma. It's a fun one. They are not holding back in that film, to say at least. I wasn't big, or I wasn't that happy with this release either, because I already had the umbrella release of this film. It's not a 4K though, but yeah, I had a really cool release from Umbrella. I still do. I will sell that one. But I like this film a lot. I think it's a cool 90s, actually directed by a female, and that's cool because this movie feels more like a dude directed it. But it's kind of a feminist movie, or it is a feminist movie because the cartoon is no cartoon yeah, is also feminist. But it's so raw and so extreme in many ways, so it's fun. And I do think Laurie Petty is perfect in the film, and as Tank Girl, and Naomi Watts as Jet Girl is also fun. She's really cute in the film. And but if they removed everything with the fucking kangaroo iced tea stuff, I would be happy because all of that shit just destroys a lot in the film. I think that drags the movie down a lot. But it's a movie I enjoy a lot. I know many people hate it, but I always like Tank Girl. It's kind of one of those films that I can't explain really why I like so much, except that they feel like raw. Next one up is Made in Hong Kong Volume 2. So I love the first release from Vinegar Syndrome, the Made in Hong Kong Volume 1, but they focused on that one of Cat Tree films. So I was disappointed when I saw this film was more like gangster crime films. But I will check them out to see. I haven't checked out any of these films yet. What you get in the box is a movie called New York Chinatown. You get Best of the Best. I think it's Final Justice was the last one. Yeah, we'll see. I have no idea. Next one up is Hisayasu Sato, and this is the third volume of his films. I hope they release a lot of these because I loved all three boxes. I think the first one is still the best, but I love both of all three of them so far. It's kind of a mix between Pinku films and cyberpunk movies, I would say. Best way to describe them. But inside those kind of subgenres, you also get movies that feels more like action, thriller, or horror, or erotic. All of them are erotic in many ways. My favorite one in this release is a movie called Rafureshi. It's a 90s movie, and you can feel, at least in two scenes in the film, that are highly inspired by Basic Instinct. The scenes, and not the movie, but the scenes. The movie is super horny and just violence and yeah, fun. Turtle Vision was also good, and probably one of his most known films as far as I've read. But I like more Rafuresha. But I wasn't the biggest fan of Kyrie Eleison. I think that movie was boring. It has some beautiful shots of the video aesthetic and stuff like that, but I didn't like the movie that much. But anyway, each box have like two good to great films, so keep releasing these ones, Vinegar Syndrome. I love you for that. Next one up is The Great Silence. So I already had a beautiful release on this one on Blu-ray, but I saw the 4K was dropped, so I had to get this one. It's probably my favorite Western of all time, and maybe one of the most important films made after the 50s, because it takes kind of the Hollywood narrative and breaks it down and gives a big middle finger to it, and I love that. It's released by Film Movement, and yeah, you get Klaus Kinski in the role he has been born to do. He is in this film is called Loco, and I think he should have named himself Loco after this film because that would have fit him so fucking good. Yeah, it's so amazing, this one. I highly recommend it to everyone. Sergio Corbucci has directed it, and I think he is mostly known for Django. At least that's the movie it seems like everybody knows. But The Great Silence is a masterpiece. I like it a lot more than Django, even though Django is a good movie as well. So next one up is the short films of Juro Norstein, and this is the third volume of the Treasures of the Soviet Animations. It's Deaf Crocodile who released this one. I love these releases of the Soviet animation films because I never thought that these films would ever get physical release. They are short films, right? Actually, some of the other ones has been feature-length films, but most of them has been short films. But they are so damn good, and Russia has been amazing when it comes to animation. Already back in the early 1920s, there are amazing animation films from Russia, and Yuri is one of the best, I think. I only seen 2 of his films though, but Hedgehog in the Fog is one of my favorite animation films of all time. I actually wrote Deaf Crocodile and asked them if they were going to release his films like a year ago or something, because they already started with the Treasures, and they say yes, and I was super happy, especially since they released that one, because I love that film, and I hope they will bring a lot more out. There are so many Russian animation films that needs physical release. Next one up is Bill Plimpton's Hair High. It's hard for Norwegian though. So this is the 4th Bill Plimpton film that Deaf Crocodile has released. So far I only seen 2. I have all of the 4, but the best one so far they are released is actually the ones that has the lowest score online I've seen. But that's the one I like the most. Mutant Aliens. I love that film. It's really crazy. But yeah, I've seen 4 of his films, but 2 of them Deaf Crocodile hasn't released. He's an exciting animator. He's not my favorite animator, but I do like him a lot. I think some of his films kind of look so similar, so I feel like he used one style that he always used, and it's a cool style though. But White Son of the Desert, so a red western in many ways. I think this movie was super cool. It kind of reminded me a little bit of that sci-fi Russian film Kinzaza, I think it's called. It's also an amazing film, but the look in the desert looks so similar. And it's not really a western, but the flow of the film feels like a western. It's more like what do you call it, like a neo-western, if you will call it western. Focus more actually on war, but yeah, it's an amazing film, and I had heard about it before, but I never actually heard about it as how you say it, like as an important film. But I read a lot about it after I saw it, and I completely understand how this movie is important, both in Russia but also international. It's a good movie. I'm super happy that I got the chance to actually watch it in such good quality. So next one out is Krakitit. I don't know how to say that. Krakitit. So this is a Czechoslovakian film, and it's a sci-fi drama, or I call it a sci-fi though, because the nuclear bomb was already created in 45, I believe it was, and this movie is released in 47 or 48. But still, it's not the nuke bomb they are referring to in the movie. It's another kind of bomb, and but it's a really good film, and it was strange because I watched this movie right after I watched the Dam Busters, the British one from the 50s, and they are not similar and they don't talk about the same, but still I had kind of the same cold feeling in my body, like we are heading to Third World War, and like, I don't know, it was a strange watch. But yeah, I highly recommend this film as well. The director who did this is called Otakar Vavra or something like that, and he did an amazing movie in the 70s that I really love called Witch Hammer. So now I've only seen 2 of his films, but both of them is really good. And I also highly recommend this because of the scan of the film. It's a 4K, but it just looks incredible. Incredible. Next one up is another Deaf Crocodile title, and it's Song of the Miraculous Hind. It's an animation. And this is from the same director who did Tragedy of Men, a movie I think was the best movie I saw last year of new films, or new films for me. It's my favorite film from them, I believe, and yeah, it's an amazing achievement. And this is too, not up there with Tragedy of Men, but this is also an amazing film. It kind of talks a little bit about a culture I know a lot about, or a religion I know a lot about. But it's not the same, but it's still similar to the native Norwegians. It's a big movie told through a small kind of narrow line. But yeah, I was fascinated about this film, and I'm looking forward to check it out again, because I didn't really understand the first half of the film, what I was actually watching. But yeah, it will be fun checking it out again when I know where it ends. And I also think it talks a little bit about immigration in a strange way. So 3 times Tulio, Teuvo Tulio. So this was a movie I actually recommended for Deaf Crocodile to check out, and they picked it up, and I'm super happy about it, because of the 3 films in this box set, one of them is called Sensuela, and that's one of the greatest films ever made, at least in north of Europe. And it's not because the movie is so damn amazing in story, or maybe it is. It's a movie it's hard to explain, but it's a movie that I feel everybody needs to experience. And I think if you experience it once, you can't get away from it. You need to see it again. It's directed by one of the most respected directors from Finland back in the days. And he had a downfall with movies for 10-15 years, I believe. And then he went and made his biggest thing yet. And that was Sensuela. But the movie was slaughtered by the critics. And he chose to leave the film industry and disappeared into no man's land. And that's a true story. It's a really weird story around this film. The movie is insane, and I highly recommend. And it's so beautiful at the same time. But there are 2 other good films on this one. It's the original from Sensuela. He remade his own film, and you also have Cross of Love on the film, and the other one is Restless Blood. And I really like both of them, but Sensuela was my entire thing of getting on physical. I had only seen it on bad quality, and yeah, it looks so damn good on this. And also now I can see it whenever I want. Let's see. Yeah. Next one up was a big surprise for me. Norwegian release on this Monster Edition, Autentisk Blikk. So I'm so happy that Norway sometimes, like, this is the Norwegian Film Library who released this one and who restored it and everything. So this is short films from I think it's 1905 up to 1930 or something like that. It's incredible that we get these films. I haven't started watching these films yet, but I'm really looking forward to do so. I love old school archive material and stuff like that, and yeah, especially when it's from Norway. So it's my history in many ways, or my people's history, if that makes sense. The next one up is The Killer. Shout Factory released this one, and I didn't know that Arrow was going to release it. So I pre-ordered this one, but it took them almost 4 months, or it took almost 4 months, I think, to get it or something like that. And I actually forgot that I had pre-ordered it. And then Arrow announced that they will release it in April. But this is one of my favorite action films of all time. It's John Woo at his best. I don't know if I like this best, or Hard Boiled best, or Once a Thief best. I have no idea. But all of them are great. Probably seen this film on DVD. I've had my DVD for years. Probably seen it 20 times at least. And back in the days on VHS, many, many more times. Chow Yun-fat is amazing in all of his films. And yeah, all of the classics is made during his Hong Kong days. It's, as I said, Hard Boiled, Bullet in the Head, Once a Thief, Heroes Shed No Tears, A Better Tomorrow 2. And he also did an American film that I liked, Hard Target. It's not up there with the best Hong Kong movies, but it's still a cool one. And I think actually the best Mission Impossible film, I know it's the one that gets trashed upon the most, but I actually like his Mission Impossible movie the best, the second one. I rewatched all of them before I saw the last Mission Impossible film, and it's actually the second one that holds up best because it's cool action in it, and it's actually some damn cool stunts in the film. And actually, Tom Cruise is not doing those stunts, so, but I like that film a lot. It's just sad that the last 25 years he has fallen deeply into shit in America with a lot of trashy films. I haven't seen that war movie he went back to Hong Kong to make though, but I need to check it out. So The Mask, this is a movie I like a lot, just as much today as I did back in the days. I rewatched this last year, before I knew that Arrow was releasing it. I think it was in the summer, but I think it actually works just as well today as it does back in the days, and I think part of the reason for that is because it's the CGI effects in The Mask actually looks good. It looks better than 99% of the movies today for what it is. And Cameron Diaz has the most perfect intro in a film ever. Man, she's beautiful. And Jim Carrey plays his role perfectly. And I think also Peter Greene needs to have some credit in this film as well. He's cool as hell in this film. Didn't he pass away some years ago? Maybe it was last year? I don't know. But anyway, The Mask is hell of a ride. I really like it. I do think the first 20 minutes of the film is not up there. But when it turns into The Mask and so on, it's kind of a fun ride from all the way through. So, soon finished. Next one up is The House with the Laughing Windows. I wanted to see, this is a shameless release. I wanted to see this movie for so many years. I heard many people talk about it as one of the greatest Jolly films ever made. And it wasn't possible to get anywhere. And I didn't want to see it on a bad scan that was on YouTube, bad quality. It's directed by Pupi Avati, and he has directed a spoof kind of movie that I saw called Souls. All the Souls Except the Dead, or something like that. And I actually like that one. I know many people don't, but it's kind of scary movie for jollies in the same way a scary movie was from slashers. But he also did a movie called Cedars that I have from 88 Films in the Italian collection. I didn't like that movie that much. It wasn't bad. It was like a 5 out of 10. It has some fun moments, but it's a trashy zombie movie. But this movie is more of a classic jolly. It's more of a... if I can say it like this, I would put it more in the catalog of... a good example actually is that I'm not the biggest fan of Lucio Fulci's most praised film, Don't Torture a Duckling. The reason why is because when I watch a jolly, it feels almost like a, how can I say, a tribute to horror. All the jolly films. Because they are so kind of, they know what they are all the time. And when I see really serious movies like that, it almost feels a little bit boring. And I gotta admit, I think this movie was a little bit boring. But it's so beautiful shot and so well made. And there is moments in the film that is amazing. So it's still a watch I will go back to one more time at least. I will absolutely not sell it. But I was disappointed, to be honest. It wasn't up there with what I was hoping for. The waiting time has not been worth it. And not the price either. I paid a lot of shit for that movie. Next one up is a Norwegian film from Second Sight. Is The Ugly Stepsister. So I had to grab this since it was Norwegian, and I was not the biggest fan of this film. I did like it though, but I think it was okay. The shots done in Norway, I think, was really bad. It didn't feel like the same film. And I never felt actually that the movie was so extreme that everybody was talking about. It never like kind of pushed anything for like any limits, if that makes sense. And it felt like more or less like a East European folk horror thing from the 70s, like Beauty and the Beast or The Beast, or maybe even like Stark from Russia or something like that. So it didn't feel original at all either. And the last thing that made it a little bit weaker for me also was that because if I knew it was Norwegian, but I always look at Norwegian film as kind of like a little bit exciting because I know so many people who work in movies here, and when I saw it and I saw so few Norwegian people that worked on this and it was shot overseas, or not overseas, but abroad, then it wasn't that special either. But what I have to say is that the makeup effect in this film is amazing. And there are some good acting in it as well. So I'm super happy to own it, and this is a really cool release from Second Sight. So I'm looking forward to dig into it. And I actually waited to buy it because I knew Second Sight was going to release it. So next one up is Perfect Blue. Ah, I could do it like this. So this is the only limited edition I have bought that is something I bought just because it was a limited edition of something I already own. But Perfect Blue is one of my favorite films of all time. Probably the best anime type of film I've ever seen. So I knew I had to get it. And this was a bit expensive, and the only really expensive thing, except that House of Laughing Windows, that I bought this time around because I bought most of this stuff on sale. So yeah, but I'm happy. I'm really happy to own this. It's something I knew I had to get. Next one around is another limited edition, and it's The Curse of Frankenstein. This one, in some ways, I can say I got it for free because I had a lot of points, and I used all of the points for the movie. But of course, I used money to get those points over a year or two. But I think this is the second best Hammer horror film that is ever made, or at least of the ones I've seen. I think that Sister Hyde is the best one. But I love this film. It's so damn good. And I also think that the main reason why this is a movie I can go back to and see over and over again is because you have Christopher Lee playing the creature in the film. And I don't like the makeup that much, but I do love his acting in that character. And Peter Cushing is also great. I can't remember the name of the female, but she's also amazing in the film. And I've chosen that I will only buy the movies I really love from the new Hammer film releases they do. And so far it's only been one, but I have most of the Hammer films on Blu-ray or DVD from before. So when I upgrade them to 4K like this one, it's something really special. It has to be something really special. But I'm super happy to own this. And I knew that this was one of the few that I really needed if it was going to get a release. And it did. And I'm happy. So I only have 2 more releases. The second last is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Arrow. This was, without a doubt, something I had to pick up. First and second, I really like. The first one is a masterpiece in my book. The second one is fun. I think actually the first one now is the best superhero movie ever made. I've thought about it so many times, and it just got, after I rewatched it recently, it's a perfect film. I love the film. I know many people complain about the dialogue in the film, that it's childish, but that's the point with the turtles. And it's not that childish, actually, if you think about it. Because the movie, you should think that the movie is made for children, but it's really fucking dark and kind of brutal also. But the characters are so damn good. Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, Raphael, all of them I think is amazing. Perfect character actors in the film. And Splinter is also amazing. I like Casey Jones in the film, April O'Neil, but the best one is Shredder. He is so damn good in the film. And I also love that they cast somebody I didn't know that much from, like, that it wasn't like a famous American actor. I really love that about the character. But there are so many moments in the film that I think is amazing. And now I really want to eat pizza just thinking about those fucking films. It's and the 4K scan was also incredible. I only checked out the first one actually, so I need to see the other ones also before. Maybe those are shit. The 4K scan. So the last release I got is something I'm super happy about, because I didn't think I was going to buy this, or I knew I wanted it, but I didn't really think that I would use money for it. But then it dropped in price, and it dropped so much in price, so I felt like there is no chance in hell that I will let this go. And it's of course the 007 Sean Connery collection. Yeah, this is an amazing release, and I haven't started looking through these films as you see, but I'm a big Bond fan, and everything Bond up to GoldenEye I think is amazing. Amazing to watch. Not every film is amazing, but I do love all of the films before just because they are Bond. And I do love also Casino Royale that came out in 2002 or something. But all of the rest films between GoldenEye and Casino Royale and the films after I think is shit. They are really, really bad. But in this box we get Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, and You Only Live Twice, and Diamonds Are Forever. The best film of them are Goldfinger. Second best I think is From Russia with Love. Then Dr. No. I always go back and forth with From Russia with Love and Dr. No. And the rest is good films, but I need to rewatch them before I can put them like which is best. Maybe I need to rewatch all of them. Just maybe I changed my mind today. I don't know. It's been a while since I saw the Bond collection, but I at least seen the Bond collection up to The World Is Not Enough 2 or 3 times from beginning till the end. But I haven't seen them after Daniel Craig's movies came out. All of them, like. But I go back and watch some of them. Like you can watch Dr. No today and then watch, I don't know, Goldeneye tomorrow. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I just find it weird because this is like the Sean Connery collection, and I do understand why, but at the same time I don't. That they didn't include Never Say Never Again, because it's kind of weird that they are releasing like the Sean Connery collection and maybe Roger Moore collection come next, and then Timothy Dalton, and maybe then Pierce Brosnan. But I just find it weird that they didn't release Never Say Never Again in the Sean Connery collection, even though it came out in the early 80s. It's kind of, I don't know where they will put it. And also with the Lance Henriksen, is that his name? George Lance. Oh, I can't remember his name. But George Lazenby was his name. Yeah. I have no idea what they will do with those films if they release more box sets like this. But yeah, let's hope they do all of the Bond films. I will buy everything up to Pierce Brosnan. But yeah, I got this probably for $90, I think, something like that, and I was super happy about that. That's a price I can live with. So thank you for watching, and this has been a strange one, because normally I do this on recording and then I edit and then all of that shit. But this will go straight out as it is, and sorry for that. This is probably shit, and I don't know how long it's been now, but pretty long. But I hope I see you next time. Have a good day. Bye 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 bye.